Hey folks, Eddie from Brain Pulp TV, back with more Magic Online. We are doing yet another Flashback draft. This time around, we are doing the Time Spiral Planar Chaos draft. Now, I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, but in case I haven't, just to recap, there was a huge chunk of time where I was not playing Magic. From Dark Steel on to either M15 or Cons, I'm not sure which one came first, I wasn't playing at all. I've recently come back to it in the past few years, so these flashback drafts are my first experience playing a lot of these sets. Which means that when I get into the draft, I'm going to have to immediately try to analyze the cards that I've never seen before for the most part, and talk about it, and make the correct picks, while also trying to figure out which cards might be better for me to take because of the ticket value. Now, I don't normally worry too much about ticket value. I mean, if it's gonna be one or two tickets, I'm not really gonna care too much. But if it's enough tickets where it can get me quite a ways towards another draft, I will pick it because my funds aren't unlimited, and in order to keep doing these each week, I need to sort of recoup the tickets somehow. So I don't really know a lot of the cards. I mean, obviously I know certain cards like Damnation, for example. I have heard of that card. I know it's a very good card, and I know it's a card I'm probably going to pick because of the ticket value, even if it's not going to go into my deck. But other than that, I am flying by the seat of my pants here. So the picks may not be the greatest. I'm going to do the best I can, as I usually do. But yeah, we'll see together how well I manage in the flashback draft for Time Spiral and Planar Chaos. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh, slivers. Slivers are a thing in this. Maybe I go slivers. I don't know. Opaline sliver. All slivers have, whenever this permanent becomes the target of spell an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Interesting. Let's see this. This is the Swamp King. It's a 5/5 for 5. It's got Swamp Walk, and whenever a player casts a black spell, you gain 1 life. The Lich Lord is a 3/3. If damage would be dealt to Lich Lord, sacrifice that many permanents instead. Target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until the end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. That sounds like it could be dangerous. I mean, it sounds like it could be a fun card, but it sounds like it could be dangerous. Celestial Crusader. Flash, split second, flying. Other white creatures get +1/+1. That looks like it's probably going to be our pick. Man, am I running out of time here. Momentary blink. Guys, I've ran out of time. I'm sorry. Celestial Crusader sounds good, but we're going to have to probably go with white then. Reiterate. Buyback 3. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. That sounds like it might be good. Harmonic Sliver. All slivers have, whenever this permanent enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Premature Burial. Destroy target non-black creature that entered the battlefield since your last turn ended. Thick Skin Goblin. Okay. Vampiric Sliver. All slivers, whenever a creature is dealt damage by this creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Slivers seem like it could be a really cool thing. A 3/3 Sliver Artifact. Eternity Snare. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. Creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. That seems pretty costly, though. Destroy target artifact. What's this? Children of Sacrifice. You gain life equal to the life you've lost this turn. I don't know if that's right or not. Man, I'm bad at this. I'm so bad at trying to do things on the fly. Whenever it enters the battlefield, sacrifice unless you return 3 basic lands you control to your owner's hand. Return it, return it to its owner's hand. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. That creature's controller puts its... That sounds like it could be good. Fill the top card of your library. If it's the same name as the card you're... Nope. Brine Elemental. What's this? Congregation. You gain 2 life for each creature target player controls. I mean, I don't think so. Shadow. Block, you may have it deal 1 damage to target creature. If you do, prevent all combat damage. This would do this turn. That sounds like it could possibly be good. The Dragoons. Vigilance, and when it enters the battlefield, you gain... Well, Vigilance is always good, right? Oh, man alive. I'd like this card. This card sounds like it could be fun. This card's obviously the best for our white. What the heck. What do we have here? Add colorless to mana pool, pay 1 and put a 0/1 red kobold creature token into the battlefield? I don't think so. Firewalker sliver. Man, I wish I knew there was going to be so many slivers. I would have probably forced slivers. Maybe I should now anyways. Because I don't think there's a whole lot here. The Green Seeker. Discard a card, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. That could be interesting because I may end up playing more than 2 colors. Shaman, when it enters the battlefield, if you control no tap lands, draw a card. Interesting. Suspend. Oh, so it's got suspend, so that's how that would work out. Slipstream Serpent. Can't attack unless the defending player controls an island. I don't want to limit myself to that. Fire Breathing. Enchanted creature, return it. Okay, sure, maybe. That was bad. Fury Sliver. Enters the battlefield, choose a color. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color. This effect doesn't remove. Oh, okay, that could be good. Sidewinder Sliver. All sliver creatures have flanking. Okay. Maybe the Opaline's Sliver. Clock Spinning Buyback. Choose a counter on target permanent or a suspended card. Remove the counter. All sliver creatures have double strike. You know what? Let's stick with white-blue for now. Man, this is... I don't think this is going to be good. I'm really going to have to pick up steam in the second pack and learn from my mistakes here. Sacrifice it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Put in the graveyard, draw a card. Detainment spell, enchant creature. Enchant creatures' activated abilities can't be activated. Attached to target creature. That's, I mean, it's a limited. So 5 for a 3/3 flyer, and as long as it's untapped, it gets. That might be really good. And what was this? Paradise Plume. Enters the battlefield, choose a color. Whenever a player casts a color of the chosen spell, you may gain life. To your mana pool. That could be good too. I think I'm going to go with Castle Raptors. Fortify, let's see. Choose. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until the end of turn. Creatures you control get +0/+2 until the end of turn. Might be a nice little trick. Add blue to your mana pool. Becomes maybe this. Skip your next turn. Activate this ability. Well, that sounds pretty bad. I don't want to be skipping my turn, but Fortify maybe? You know, I'm going to go with the Totem. What the hell? It's probably a horrible mistake, but it goes well with the rest of the theme of the deck of me making horrible mistakes. Choose a color. Choose a battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has protection from chosen color. This effect isn't removed from the ward. The Interceptor, Flash, Defender, can block an additional creature each combat. That could slow things down. I'm probably going to end up taking that then. Yeah, let's go with that. And we're back here. We're back here with the Lich Lord, which I don't want. Maybe I can take another one of them. I might just take a cancel at this point. Yeah, I think it's way too close. Or way too late now to switch to slivers unless I find some other stuff. Red seems to be open. Like, it seems to be quite open. I think I'm just going to take the cancel. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller untap step. I mean, that's expensive for that effect. Maybe I'll just take the 3/3 for 5. That seems good as well too. Is it too late to go into black, you think? It might be too late to go into black. You know, I'm going to take that anyways. Put target creature or land on top of its owner's library. That I will probably end up taking. It's a time bug. Choose target permanent you control or suspended card you own. If that permanent or card has a time counter, you remove time counter from it. Let's go with the bounce. No. Destroy target non-black creature then to the battlefield since last turn. Mind Stab. Target player discards 3 cards. Suspend. Pit Keeper enters the battlefield. You may return target creature card from the graveyard to your hand. We'll go with Mind Stab. Clock Spinning. All slivers have Menace. I might take that just because it sounds like it could be bad for any sort of sliver deck. Buyback. Choose counter on target permanent. Nope. We're going to go with slivers because what the hell. Psychotic Episode. I don't even have time to read it. And I'm going to take a Foil Swamp. That was the worst first round of a draft I think I've ever done. Man, I blew through my time in that first one. Okay, what do we have here? A Tog. Sacrifice an enchantment. Tog gets +2/+2 at the end of turn. Does not sound great. Goblin Tactician. Whenever another goblin you control becomes blocked, sacrifice it. If you do, it deals 4 damage to each creature blocking it. Sacrifice 2 mountains. Put 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens on the battlefield. That sounds like it could be good as well too. Fallen Ideal. No. Firemar Kavu Echo enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage to target creature. When it leaves the battlefield, deals 4 damage to target creature. It's too late to go into a lot of red. Becomes as long as it is a creature, it can block an additional creature. That sounds like it could. This sounds like it could be good. Maybe I'll switch into red. Flip into red. 1 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Prevent the next 1 damage. That sounds like it could be good as well too. Trader's Clutch. Okay, we went with that. So there, that's done, I guess. The Scout. Search your library for a Rebel permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less and put it into the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Is Rebels really... I haven't even been noticing. Is Rebels like a serious thing in this, or... Wow, what a messy draft we've got going on here. All slivers have sacrifices permanent. Add 2 black. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Thalid. Remove 3 spore counters. Put a 1/1 sacrifice target creature. Suspend flying. Spend 4. Flying 4/4. Maybe. This has got shadow. Wow, I have a feeling we're going to do very, very poorly in this draft. Destroy target creature. Its control loses life equal to its power plus its toughness. That could be crazy. It is very costly. We're going to go with this guy. Magus of the Jar. Sacrifice Magus of the Jar. Each player exiles all cards from his or her hand face down and draws 7 cards. At the beginning of the next end step, each player discards his or her hand and returns to his or her hand each card he or she exiled this way. All slivers have this permanent deals 1 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. That just sounds like it could be good on its own. The Cavalry has flanking. All slivers get +0. This is a what? A Dreamstalker. When Dreamstalker enters the battlefield, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. That might be good as well too. Discard a card. Turn permanent you control to its owner's hand. I don't have any... I don't think I have a lot of come into play effects. Took the sliver. Grinning Totem. Sacrifice Grinning Totem. Search target opponent's library for a card and exile it. Then that player shuffles their library until the beginning of your next upkeep. You play that card at the beginning of the next upkeep. If you haven't played it, put it in his owner's graveyard. Cavalier flanking, and when it attacks, you may tap target creature. When it becomes blocked, you may untap the Cavalier and remove it from combat. That sounds like it might be good. Temporal Isolation. Flash, enchant creature, and enchanted creature has shadow. Prevent all damage that will be dealt by enchanted creature. Flash, enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. That sounds like it actually could be good, but I'm going to go with the Cavalier, I believe. Dementia Sliver. All slivers have tap. Name a card. Target opponent reveals a card at random from his or her hand. If it's the name card, that player discards it. Activate this ability only during your turn. 2/2 flyer for 3, and when it enters the battlefield, destroy target enchantment. Target permanent becomes white until the end of turn. Get some more slivers this way. Skulking Knight. No, and this is what? Brass Gnat. Brass Gnat doesn't untap during your untap step. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 1 if you do untap Brass Gnat. And then War Barge. Island Walk into end turn. Faceless Devourer. Exile target creature with Shadow. Turn to Dust. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast a spell during your main phase, you may exile up to one other target artifact or enchantment. That sounds like a wonderful sideboard card, but I don't think I'm really looking for Shadow. All sliver creatures have Shadow. Yeah, that sounds like it could be really good. I don't know how many slivers I have at this point. Let's grab it and see how many slivers I have. Oh, Sidewinder Sliver. All sliver creatures have flanking. And this is what? Fledgling Makor. Deals tap at 1 damage to target creature or player. More for 2. That sounds like it actually could be quite good. Spells you cast cost 1 less for each card with the same name. That's whatever. So now I'm leaning towards Sidewinder Sliver or the Fledgling Makor. I'm going to go with the Makor. I just don't think I have enough slivers for this. Pull from Eternity. Put target face up. Put target face up exiled card into its owner's graveyard. There's this, and this guy has got Shadow at the beginning of your upkeep. Sacrifice unless you play. You know what? At this point, I'm thinking maybe going with some more Shadow stuff. So why not? Man, this is going to be fun. I haven't even looked at my card pool. I'm just straight up trying to quickly read as many of these things as possible and get through this the best I can. I may end up taking Prismatic Lens because I don't think I'm only going to be playing a couple colors. I think I'm going to be playing at least 3 colors. One good thing is I'm completely ignoring green because at this point I've so far completely left green behind. Flash, Defender, can block an additional creature each combat. Once it gets another white card, maybe just go for more Shadow, though that's going to get pretty expensive after a while. Red, I barely got any red, so I don't think I'm going to splash. I mean, all slivers have, you know, I'm going to take it just in case I decide to change my mind. The Dreamstalker, what was that? Enters the battlefield to return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. That probably will be it. Fortify seems like it could be good, but I'm going to take the Dreamstalker. How am I for creatures? I'm 17 creatures. So for once, I'm doing a draft where I don't have to worry about taking or not taking creatures in the last pack. I can maybe take some fun spells. Yeah, we'll take that. And, I mean, that seems like it's going to be pretty useless, but I think I'm going to take it. Because we probably are going to start splashing. We may splash black. What is this? Flanking? Yeah, we'll take another one of these. We'll take this. Okay, let's get rid of red. What is this gonna look like if I don't have any black in it? Not too Damnation. Okay, well, we're taking Damnation because Damnation is probably the only way we are essentially going to win this draft. Damnation, the ticket value is enough that it's worth taking Damnation on its own. I feel a lot better now that I've taken Damnation. Like White Mane Lion, I really like. It not just because it's a card I remember from playing in the past, and it's white, but I like White Mane Lion. But we are definitely taking Damnation. I just want to take the 40 seconds we have to try to read as many of these cards as possible so that I can make better decisions later on. Dawn Charm, prevent all combat damage until this turn. Regenerate target creature, counter target spell that targets you. Yeah, whatever. As Primal Plasma enters the battlefield, it becomes your choice of a 3/2 creature, a 2/2 creature with flying, or once. That could be very, very good. I mean, there's some really good cards here, I think, but still, we're definitely taking Damnation. Wild Pear, it's green, so I'm not even going to waste time reading it at this point. Rebuff the Wicked, counter target spell that targets a permanent you control. Wow, we're getting counters as white. That's interesting. Dash Hopes. When you cast Dash Hopes, any player may pay 5 life. Excuse me, I got the hiccups now. Great, this is going to make it easier. If a player does counter Dash Hopes, counter target spell. No, what's this? Wishful Thinking. Target player draws 2 cards and discards 4 cards. Haha, really? Oh, there's another White Mane Lion. I will probably be taking the White Mane Lion. Silence deals 3 damage to target non-white creature. That's like a white lightning bolt. Obviously more limited than lightning bolt. I realize that, but still. Suspend is removed from oddity while it's extra. Creatures can't be blocked this turn. That would require some amazing timing. Gets +1/+1 until on turn. Suspend. That sounds like could be good as well too. But this one, just the benefit, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. I'm gonna take the white main line. Okay, so we have another sliver. All sliver creatures get +1/+1. That is most likely to be my pick. All slivers have pay 2, tap, regenerate target sliver. That could be good as well too. Mantle of Leadership's got flash. Enchant creature. When enchanted creature enters the battlefield, enchanted creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. That sounds like it could be a really good trick as well. Saltfield Recluse. What's this? Phantasmagorian. You cast, any player may discard 3 cards. If it does, counter it. So discard 3 cards, return from the graveyard to your hand. Brain Gorgers, which has really cool artwork. When you cast Brain Gorgers, any player may sacrifice a creature. A player does, counter it. Whatever. That seems to be a major theme in this particular set. Piracy Charm. Choose one. Target creature gains Island Walk at the end of turn. Target creature gets +2/-1 at the end of turn. Target player discards a card. Now we're going to go with the... we'll stick with the sliver. What do we have here? Nodes. At the beginning of your upkeep, destroy the target creature with the least power. It can't be regenerated. If 2 or more creatures are tied for least power, you choose one of them. When there are no creatures on the battlefield, sacrifice the nodes. That sounds like it could be fun for just me. Probably not a whole lot of other. Mana Tithe. Counter target spell unless its controller plays 1. I may take that. Sunlance again, which sounds really great. Riftwatcher flying, vanishing 3. Enters the battlefield, leaves the battlefield, you gain 3 life. What was this one here? Enters the battlefield, return 2 creatures you control to their owner's hand. Whenever the riders or another creature is returned to your hand from the battlefield, put a 1/1. This might be huge. I mean, Mana Tithe sounds like it could be really good. But Stormfront Riders sounds like it could be better for our deck, because we do have several things which return stuff to our hands. I don't have time. Dismal Failure. That will probably be the name of this deck. Counter target spell, its controller discards a card. I like that. I'm going to highlight that for now. Another Sinew Sliver. That might be our pick instead. All sliver creatures have Vigilance. And it's a 3/3 sliver, so it's actually a beefy sliver. And we have Spitting Sliver. All sliver creatures have First Strike. I'm thinking I didn't put enough slivers into this deck. I really like Dismal Failure, though. But I'm going to go with... Oh, do I want First Strike or do I want Vigilance? Go with Vigilance. Vampiric Link, enchanted creature. When enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. That may be our pick. Muck Drub. Flash, when Muck Drub enters the battlefield, change the target of target spell that targets only a single creature to Muck Drub. So he's going to sacrifice himself. And we get another Spitting Sliver. Oh, it's the same sort of choice as before. You know what? Yeah, let's get the best of both worlds. Okay. At the beginning of your upkeep, geez, a lot of text. Let's read some other stuff first. Midnight Charm deals 1 damage to target creature. You gain 1 life. Target creature gains first strike and end turn. Tap target creature. That sounds like it could be a very good charm. Very, very charming. Melancholy. Enchanted creature enters the battlefield. Tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't tap during its untap tap. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice unless you pay 1. That sounds like it could be good too. Erratic Mutation. Choose target creature. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. That creature gets no. Vampiric Link, or what's this one? At the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on it. Remove 3 spore counters. Put a 1/1 sacrifice creatures. You know what? We're gonna go with Vampiric Link. After all that reading, hey, Mana Tithe. I may get Mana Tithe after all. What's this? Auramancer's Guise. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it and has Vigilance. Veiling Oddity. Spend, last time, remove, exile. Oh, once exiled, creatures can't be blocked this turn. I still think, you know what? I like Mana Tithe. I like Mana Tithe because it seems like it'd be super, super sneaky. I may not use it in the deck. I just like the idea of having Mana Tithe. Spell Shift. Counter target instant or sorcery spell. Its controller reveals cards from the top of his or library until he or she reveals an instant or sorcery card. That player may cast that card without paying its mana cost then he or she shuffles his or her library. That doesn't sound like it could be good for us at all. Discard a card. Creatures can go blah, blah, blah. Maybe another White Man Lion. Target player loses 1 life. You know what? Yeah, we'll take that. Sure. Every time I pick a card and I don't feel good about it, I throw my hands up. Rebuff the Wicked. Counter target spell. That targets a permanent you control. Dash Hopes. No, we already went over that. Melancholy might be good. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 4 cards. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 4 cards. You know what? That might be good against an opponent, right? They draw 2 cards. So if they have 2 cards in their hand, this makes them discard their entire hand. Yeah, that sounds like it could be really good, actually. You know what? I think I took the green. No, I took the blue. Okay. Enters the battlefield. Oh, or his turn face up, it becomes your choice if you know what? I think I'll take that. That sounds like it's going to be good. Dashed Hopes. Any player may pay 5. Yeah, we'll take you. Dismal Failure. Counter target spell. Its controller discards a card. So we did get that. We got another Vampire Link. Shade. I think we're going to... Man, no one likes Vampiric Link, huh? And Brain Gorgers. So this... We've currently got 39 cards without land in our deck, so we're going to have to trim some. I normally trim some while I'm going on and doing the draft, but I didn't really have time to do it this time because I was concentrating so much in just reading the cards. So I'm actually going to take a couple moments, review what I got here, and then I will see you after a quick edit break. Okay, we're back. So now I'm going to have to quickly try to figure out... Let's group creatures separately. Okay. Shadow... Sliver. Do we want to just keep all the slivers in? I think we just want to keep all the slivers in, right? At the beginning of your upkeep, tap. You know what? I think he's going to go. I think he's good. I just don't think he's going to work well for us in this deck. No, get rid of you. Flanking. You may tap target creature. That sounds like it could be good as well, too, even though it's a 2/2 for 5, which is really expensive. Sliver. You know what? I think we may just have to go more full-on slivers. So I'm going to get rid of that. I like this one. This one's going to stay in. We'll get rid of the Castle Raptors. Let's see. Let's deal with the spells first. Target player discards 3 cards. Spend 4. No, we'll get rid of you. Put target creature or land on top of its owner's library. No, you can go. Dismal Failure. I don't think we're really that counter. Flash. Damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. I actually kind of want to keep that in. Target player draws 2 cards and discards 4. We don't need 2 copies of it. I do want to keep 1. And cancel, I may keep in. Though, actually, if I'm going to keep cancel in, maybe Dismal Failure is better. Anyways, moving on. Mana Tithe, I think, is super, super tricky and it'll be super, super funny to play. I don't think it's going to be particularly good for us. You can go. No, you can go. Given how little black we have, otherwise Damnation Damnation is the reason we're going to actually break even in this draft, because I will be able to sell Damnation immediately after this and make back tickets to go into another draft. But I don't know if we should keep it in the draft, or maybe if I should just take out all the other black cards. Maybe, okay, right. You know what, Mana Tithe we'll take out. We'll take you out. Even though I do like the tap and just putting on a clock. We're going to take you out as well, too. So we're at 26, so we need 3 more. We're going to take you out and bring you back in if we need you for any sort of enchantment hate. We're at 25. Probably should keep that one in, but I've got to take out 2 really quickly. And add basic lands. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 islands, 6 plains, and 4 swamps. We got the Children of Corliss. We have Drifter Ildal, Vampiric Link, Quilled Sliver, Sinew Sliver, White Mane Lion, Prismatic Lens, Avenant Healer. Sure, we'll say it's that. Ophidian Eye. Killing these cards. Shadow Sliver. We have Wistful Thinking, Cancel, and Opaline Sliver, Shade of Trocare, Celestial Crusader, Fledgling Core, I cannot read for the life of me today, Aquamorph Entity, Damnation, Stormfront Riders, Synchronous Sliver, Spitting Sliver, Dementia Sliver, and Errant Ephemeron. We'll say it's that. No idea how well this deck is going to do, but we're going to find out soon enough, so... Alrighty, here we are in the first game of the first match, and we lost the die roll, so we're just waiting to see if our opponent would like to play first. Our opponent has lost connection to the game. Our opponent also has 44 cards in their deck, so that's unusual. I'm not saying it's going to hurt them, but it is very unusual for limited draft environment to have anything other than 40 cards in your deck. Not unheard of, but unusual. There we go. Let's see where we're at here. We are not in poor shape mana-wise. We have all our colors. We won't be able to play the healer, but we can play the Opaline Sliver on 3, and we can play the Children of Corliss. It's not the strongest opening hand. I don't think it's the worst, so we're going to go ahead and keep it. Now, they've already taken 1 mulligan. They're mulliganing down to 5. They've mulliganed down to 5. Now they decide if they want to mulligan down to... They are mulliganing down to 4. And they've decided to keep 4 cards. So, Wistful Thinking is probably going to be very good if we can play that on turn 3. Providing they haven't drained their hand already. Okay, so we cut another land. I think we can stop with the land for now. Another plains would be good, because I wouldn't mind getting the healer out there, but... Okay, so that's not great for us. We will do that. I'm going to not attack, obviously. Now, we've got the sliver here as well, too, so that's going to be good when on turn 3 when we can bring this out and just go to town with our own sliver. As well, if they end with 2 cards, we can go ahead and remove their entire hand next turn. Didn't swing in. That surprises me. Search your library for basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. And we are going to... Now, did they play? This is turn 3 for them. So they did play. So they're going to put that land into their hand. And we are going to make them discard their entire hand next turn. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and do that. Excellent. So we should be in pretty good shape. They're in constant top deck mode. We've got 2 slivers, which is actually going to be aided by their sliver as well, too. Yeah, okay. Surprised they didn't attack before, but... We're just going to let that through. Another blue. So I think we're just going to go ahead and have... Yeah, you know, we're going to do this. Oh, excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and attack with the children. And next turn we can keep up for cancel. Keep enough land up for Next turn we can keep enough land up for cancel, and also play the Quilled Sliver. This is actually pretty good for us. Now, do we swing in? Because he can chump with both and take out the sliver. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and swing in. Now I'm swinging with both because I'm assuming he's going to block everything on the opaline sliver. Or not. So we get 3 coming through. And I'm going to go ahead now and bring out the Quilled Sliver. And we'll have mana up for cancel. Okay. Right, okay, well, at least now we can also... We're going to bring out the healer. I'm not going to attack this turn. Time is on our side, and as well, too, once I get the healer up, I'm going to be able to essentially counteract the... This permanent deals 1 damage to target attacking her. Oh, okay, so never mind. I guess they decided to move on. You know what? I think I'm okay with this. So I'm going to go ahead and submit it. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. Right. This is not super great for us as far as an opening hand goes. We have a turn 1 and then turn 4 play. We can hope to draw into something. You know, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep... We're up 1. They've mulliganed down to 4 again. Or no, they're mulliganed down to 5. They're deciding whether they want to mulligan down to 4. So our opponent is having a really rough time. Though they did not cut down to 40 cards, which surprises me. Excellent. And we got an island, so we need the island. We got it. Everything is A-okay. This looks bad for our opponent, so I do feel bad for them. Hey, they caught the land. Good, they caught a land. So maybe they'll be able to play something now. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and swing in and see if they want to make this trade. Should I? Because I could do a sneaky thing and attack with it later, and then it's not going to... Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to attack. I'm not going to attack. I will bring out... the Shadow Sliver instead. Our opponent will be gaining some life, I understand this, but I'm not overly concerned about that right now. Because I can swing in next turn with this, flash it out, and then hopefully he'll chump with the 1/1. Or better yet, bring out a 2/2. Enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Okay. Rightio. I will just go ahead and swing in. Yeah, I'm going to swing in with both. Now, I don't see them chumping, not after they've gone ahead and enchanted this. And I'm going to hang on to the Celestial Crusader for when they attack. Providing they attack. I can't see why they wouldn't. I left the door wide open for them. They are going to gain 1 life. And they could very well have a trick that pumps this guy up, which, if that happens, it happens. There's not much we can do about it. But they don't, so we get to move on. And Opaline Sliver is white as well too, so it's going to get +1/+1 from this, and have shadow. Okay, this will make it so all slivers have vigilance. Okay. Now he can't regenerate it, but it has shadow now. So let's do this. And I'm just not going to attack this turn. Now wait, shadow. Shadow creatures can only block and attack creatures with shadow. I believe so. They can block or be blocked only creatures. Yes. So that works out well. So we're going to slip in for 4 each turn now. Then we'll be able to give them all vigilance if we want as well too, though I'm not sure if I want to. Actually, it would allow it to self-regenerate. They are casting something. All slivers creatures have haste. Why? Why would you do that? Okay. And then that surprised me, that attack. Yeah, that I think our opponent, okay, for those of you watching, don't judge the opponent too harshly. That was a bad attack, but I think the opponent might be completely new. I mean, I'm new to a lot of these cards. I was lucky enough to basically know what shadow was, so I'm not entirely sure the opponent knew what shadow was, what it meant. And just the fact that they had a deck with 44 cards makes me think that they're also not used to drafting in general. So it's probably just a lack of experience on my opponent's part, which had them make some choices which they might not have otherwise made. The other thing is, I think some people play the flashback drafts just to build up collections, and in which case winning was probably not the highest priority for a player like that. So I'm not saying that's what our opponent was doing, but That's a possibility as well, too. Regardless, though, we won the first match of the flashback draft, which is great because this is single elimination. Otherwise, we would have been out on our ear. We've got damnation, so we are getting some player points back from this, which is wonderful. We have damnation, which we can sell to then play another draft just from those tickets alone. So far we're doing pretty well. Now, once again, I'm not saying it's because I built a crazy amazing deck. I think our opponent just struggled. They also mulliganed down to 4 and 5 in their respective games. So that does not really make our deck this amazing beast, which just blew through one of our opponent's decks. However, a win is a win, so we're going to take it. We're going to move on to the next match, and that will be coming up in the next part of these videos. In the meantime, though, thank you guys very much for watching. I'm really sorry about that draft. I realized I was talking a mile a minute. I was letting cards be picked because I was running out of time. It was not the smoothest draft ever. I maybe didn't end up with the best deck in the world, though I think the deck is actually not too bad, but still, yeah, not the greatest. So if you do have any advice, especially with this format, because I do plan on playing more of this flashback draft in the future, please leave that in the comments section below. I'd love to read it. And if you would like to contact us directly through Twitter, our Twitter account is @BrainPulpTV, or you can contact me at Geek Tragedy. So those should be popping up on the screen or have already popped up on the screen by now. Anyways, take care, everyone. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It means a lot to us here, and I'll see you all very soon.